recording? We are. I heard they got issues, I heard they got problems, I heard they not banging with Jonathan mama. Heard they got beef, talking that rah-rah. I've got katanas to cut through the drama. Problematic, yes. All the static, yes. If you want it, you could.
My name's Jmack. I have an album coming out soon, but a music video and a single coming out at the end of this month that will be off of the upcoming album. It's called SweetBoi. So the SweetBoi concept is just kind of me at this point. It's balancing what I've been taught and what I know and the values in which I was raised, because I can't front and say that I didn't have like my parents there to tell me right from wrong, because I've had some phenomenal people in my life who have been there. But also the things that I've chosen to put myself around, the things that I've done, the shit that I've been through. Like, that's the other side of SweetBoi. So like being sweet where I grow up is a negative thing. It's being soft. It's not being about any of the things that you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be a stand-up. Like, you're supposed to be about that. I don't know. Sometimes I don't always feel like that. And I feel like half of my album is when I'm like that, and the other half of my album is when I'm not. And that's why I choose to label myself as a SweetBoi. SweetBoi being here at UVA, honestly, what it means to me is just being here at UVA and being black. I feel like you're just expected to act a certain way, and if you're not expected to act in that way, like, you're still just put into a category. That's just the same idea as being sweet to me, is you're labeled as something, and I think that I'm multiple things. In terms of accessibility here, UVA still doesn't have a hip-hop community. We have a room with some speakers and some monitors, and we have some classes that you gotta pay for. They've tried to foster a community where making music is available to people and there is the space to make music, and that's the first step. But what about shows, organized events, where we have this phenomenal concert committee that's very good at bringing outside rappers to this annual concert? That has nothing to do with the hip-hop community at UVA. That is just the concert committee bringing people in. And if you don't know those people or aren't like sought out by those people, you're not performing. When I was in high school and just coming into college, because I really didn't put out music in high school. I put out music like my summer going into college. Like, when I did that, like, I was so worried about people. Then I put out my next album and I was really just worried about what the people around me thought, because it was such an expression of my inner thoughts. With this album, I really don't give a fuck about what people are worried about or what they think about it. I just hope people like, I hope they like it, but like, if they don't, I know that I can rap. I know I can make music. It's for me. Because at this point, like, as much music as I've written, I've had to get to a certain point where putting my music out, it's either you put it out and you're confident in it or you're not. Like, you could put it out under an alias on SoundCloud or on music streaming services and say, oh, maybe if somebody hears it and likes it, I'll make it big. But for me, it's like, why not just do it? Why not just put it out? And the scariest thing is thinking, what if I don't get a job because somebody hears about the shit that I was doing? And that's why I hope that somebody, like, if you listen to my music and you're willing to listen deeply enough to hear the things that I'm talking about, my subject matters, then listen deeply enough to hear the wordplay, to hear the assonance, to hear the onomatopoeia, to hear all of the lyrical technique that I try to use, the lyrical syntax that I try to put into my verses, and realize that I'm intelligent and I'm not just doing this rap shit because I'm trying to be famous. I'm trying to express my lyrical ability, my ability to speak and articulate myself. It's definitely a mentality. I couldn't call it a hobby at this point because, shit, like, I hope people don't spend this much money on their hobbies or this much fucking time, because I've put too much effort and money into making sure that the people who help me make my music are paid. The people who help me create the creative content that I make are paid, because that's a big part of how we as artists are going to succeed. If I'm giving like a sneak preview, it's 7 songs And the way that I've planned it is the fourth song is going to be an interlude. And it's two parts, and the beat switch is the dead middle of the album. And that's where the mood flips. And that, to me, is just like the two opposite sides of me. And yeah, I just can't wait for niggas to hear that beat drop. Wait on it.
Problematic.